Hey guys, Andrew Esquivel here, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a product courtesy of a company called VICTONY. These are a pair of smartphone lenses that clip onto your phone to either give you a wide field of view with wide-angle lens or a macro shot, allowing you to get very fine details on objects very close up to your phone. Alright, so first off, let's go over the contents of the package. First, we have the lenses themselves, and you'll see what I mean by lenses instead of just lens in just a moment. Over here we have the clip that allows you to attach it to your phone and detach very quickly, and under all of this is a nifty little carrying bag made of leather or possibly pleather to carry your stuff with you. Inside this bag they have included a lens cleaning cloth made of microfiber. Now, first off, let's talk about the main piece, the lens. First thing you're going to notice is this is not a cheapo depot pair of lenses. The entire housing is made of metal, making it very strong and resistant to any damages. This top part is plastic, comes off to reveal the wide-angle lens. The lens is made of glass, not plastic like a bunch of cheaper ones that you find on the internet. And if we unscrew the back here, you have the back of the lens. But get this, what you have here is actually two lenses working together to give you the wide angle feature, because we can disassemble this even further. By unscrewing the top portion of this, we get the macro lens, which can be used completely separately from the wide-angle lens. Now you might be wondering, well, how does all this connect? Well, there's three stages. You'll see that there is some threading here on the clip. The clip screws onto the macro lens portion, and you get a macro shot. If you want a wide-angle lens, you simply screw the wide-angle lens onto the macro lens, and bada bing, bada boom, you've got wide-angle shots. So, let's go over some stuff really quick before we attach it that I want to talk about when it comes to compatibility with your smartphone. Generally, this is a relatively universal product, but there is one thing I want to point out. Now, I can't say how well the system is going to work with phones that have dual cameras on the back, but mine has a single camera located right here when the case is on my phone. However, there is a slight issue with this particular case and any case that provides really rugged protection. When the clip is on, we have a problem where these bumps cause the lens to sit at a weird angle, and that will cause some problems that I'll show in just a minute. But that means you're going to have to use this set with either a very thin phone case, or if you have a thick phone case like mine, maybe grind down these little parts that keep the camera bump off of the table if you have your phone facing upwards. More or less, this is what your phone is going to look like when the system is placed on top of your phone. Now, the good thing about this set is that it's made from high quality material, metal and glass. The bad thing about that is it causes it to weigh more than a pure plastic setup. So your phone will become relatively top heavy. So keep that in mind so you don't accidentally drop your phone, because it does, in this case, almost double the weight of a modern smartphone with all this glass and metal. Now, here's the thing I was trying to talk about. This is not how it would sit on my phone. It would have to come up a little further in order to get the lenses center of my camera. And because my phone has these little ridges on the back to keep the camera bump on the back of my phone from hitting the table if I were to put my phone face up, that also prevents the lens from getting on there properly. So I want to show you the side effect of that in just a moment. But first off, let's see how this works when using it without the case. Now, to get a good comparison between using this phone with and without the attached lenses, this is what you'll see without using the lenses. And now for comparison, this is what you'll be able to see with the wide-angle lens. We have relatively minimal distortion in terms of things with flat lines on the side, so I would say all in all, things are pretty good. There isn't much in terms of loss of quality going through extra glass, and I'd say things are working pretty good thus far. And finally, to give you the last comparison, this is unfortunately what it looks like when using this clip system with my cell phone case on. Because my case forces the lens to be tilted slightly, we have a little bit of distortion. We have some visible ring out on the right side of the phone and a little bit on the corners on the left. So, depending on what case you're using will determine how successful this lens kit is. In my case, I went for a very rugged case, so this shouldn't be the situation for most people. But moving on, we're going to now talk about the macro lens. Now for the macro lens test, we're going to use a real-world example of something that I have to do every so often. Once in a while, my micro SD cards die on me and they need to go in for warranty support to be replaced. And oftentimes this requires that I take a picture of the serial number on the back. Now this is an old card and I don't care if the serial number gets shown to the public, but as you can see, it's not very easy. Switching off the light here allows me to get a little better view on it, but the details are still very fine on this sort of thing. I could make out some details, but let's see what it looks like through the macro lens. Okay, we now have the macro lens attached. We're going to zoom in a little bit. And it's much easier to distinguish the information about this card with the macro lens. Because if you've ever tried to read the back information on a micro SD card, you need a very keen eye and something to magnify the details, because it's not easy looking at those minute little etchings on the back of these. So all in all, the macro lens does a fantastic job at allowing me to see much finer detail in things that, in my case, really do matter in the real world. Of course, if you try to look at anything that's not close to you, well, this is designed to be very up close and personal. So that's what a macro lens is for, macro shots. As we start to move away from more traditional cameras like your standard DSLR and other professional equipment for the quick shots that we use in our everyday lives, kits like this become really handy. And of all the kits that I've seen, this one's really got to be the best built one that I've fiddled with before. And, if it wasn't for my case, I would probably be using these lenses a lot more often. I'm actually considering modifying my case to get rid of those little bumps so I can use this without having to take my case off. I actually do like it enough to try and do that, because this is something I would keep on me at all times. I'm doing filming all the time, and well, sometimes you have to back up really far to get that wide shot, and with a good wide angle lens I really wouldn't have to worry about that. The only downside to this setup right here is with the clip-on design, everyone's camera is in a different spot on their phone. So depending on where your camera is located, you may or may not be able to use the light on the back of your phone for flash or for constant light for taking video like I do. So in my case, I wouldn't be able to use the light on the back of my phone because the clips do take up too much space on the back. There's not enough real estate to accommodate a lens like this plus the light. That's just the give and take with something like this. I'm glad they went with plastic for the clip, because plastic is softer, so it's less likely to scratch your phone than metal is, which, let's face it, Not everyone has a screen protector, especially if you have a phone like mine where the edges are curved. You know, getting a good screen protector is kind of hard, especially if you're looking for a tempered glass one on curved screens. It's not always available to you. So going with a plastic clip was a good idea instead of using one that's metal. So, I mean, with all that being said, you know, everything here works as intended, unless you're doing something kind of funky like me and you have, you know, a really rugged case. That's the only time it wouldn't work properly. But I can't imagine that would be the situation for most people, and this is more of an issue for me because I chose this case. So I can always switch to a different case that would accommodate this lens. So, you know, for the price, if you're really looking for something that augments your camera's capabilities, this isn't a bad choice. I would say just keep it to cell phones that have a single lens, preferably in the center of your phone, not off to the left or right, just because it seems like it would hold on better. Now, there is one more downside. This clip, because it does have to clip, like I said, you know, I like it that it's plastic because it doesn't scratch your screen, because this back portion of the clip right here will be touching your screen, so you won't get the full field of vision with your screen when you're looking through it. I mean, recording is a different situation, but when you're actually holding the phone, that clip gets in the way of you being able to see off to the side of the screen. But minor gripe, once again, I like it. I think it's a good set. So much so that I really am considering modifying the case. So with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, show your friends, check out my other videos. There are plenty of them. And if you happen to be watching on Amazon, just know that there is a 4K resolution version of this review on YouTube. So if you're looking for a more clear picture of this review, check me out on YouTube.